recording. Okay. So, yeah.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and start just because I have an update on more people I've spoken with. I'll start off with the Burnett family who owns the Beach Store Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And spoke with one of the family members. His name is Chris as well. And he was going to speak to his mother, who's kind of head of the whole situation. But his initial response was, obviously, you know, it's good business for them and they'd be in support of it completely and be able to have small boat access themselves. So that was one family I spoke with. The other one, Kurt, I gotta make sure I'm getting the right name here. Yeah, Kurt Wagoneer, who have the home right next to the platform itself. They are in support of it. The only thing that they asked is that there'd be a privacy fence of some sort, you know, somewhere along the beginning of it would be their only desire. They love the idea. They're totally in support of it. And I am still waiting to get information from some others.
Dave Perry, he
I've
can't
got call
sign in.
contact. So
Can you send me the link?
that's the update
He'll send you a link.
on what I have. These two folks that are ready to go.
Welcome. Thanks for all your help while we were gone.
I don't know. We got some background going
Yes,
on.
yes, no problem.
Yeah, Dave Perry's just called. He needs to have a link sent, so I'm gonna mute myself and do that. So,
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. And I have a question that didn't occur to me until recently, which is, would you folks envision that you would still have a way to get down to the beach?
I think so.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
haven't, you know, and this, and tell you the truth, this is one reason why have kind of backed off. I know that in a great scenario, we somehow would all be naval engineers and have these diagrams that would have all of these details. But I would envision also that we would continue to do that. But I don't know how. But because I realized when people are talking about, you know, crossing over onto the land and such, and I was trying to think, oh, well, obviously, if you no longer had beach access, it wouldn't be an issue. But I presume you don't want to eliminate beach access.
Yeah, I think that land piece is on the plat map is wide enough so that they could leave what's there, and then have next to it the start of the stuff that what goes down to the pier. At least that was my impression. I would have to probably just go and measure, but that would be for them to figure out.
Yeah.
But I would suspect that they would not want to get rid of the ladder unless they needed to. I mean, the
Right.
stairs.
But I realize we might at some point want to explicitly say that the existing beach access would be retained. We don't have to tell you how, but we assume it will be retained.
Yeah, I'm sure the Parks Department would want to maintain beach access. That's part of the reason why they did it. So, and as we've talked about, those details will come. But yeah, let's make that known that that's what we'd be in support of. And again, everyone, you know, we've only had the one couple be concerned about it, and they are still in support of it. They just want to limit people coming onto their property. But
That's the property to the south of the county owned plat to the north.
in regards to who I talked with,
Yeah.
yeah, to the north. The folks with the little cabins that are closest on the south, I have not been able to make contact with yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're high on my target list next to get a hold of.
Okay.
But those are your updates on the folks that I got. The Burnett's and the Wagoneers. They're in support.
What we
All
ought
right.
to do is take the plat map and just put a in support, in support, in support, in support on each of the plat sections from the people that you've talked to.
Mhm.
And that way people can have a visual of it.
Oh, I like it.
That's a good idea. Mhm.
Green or red? Don?
I don't know if that is that good of an idea. I don't know if that's kind of like people going with privacy or something, but it would be great if they'd be willing to write something that, when it comes time, when we're getting the stuff to present to the county, if they'd be just willing to write that,
Well-
they are in support of it.
Well, if nothing else, just for us, because I'm still a little confused on which
Where-
pieces of,
who's where.
which is where. We don't have to make it public.
Just to say 5 out of 7 or whatever. But
Yeah.
I could do a private email. Make that.
Yeah, that would help.
that would be great.
And I have invited them all to the website, Alan, to look at all of the information. And if they have any questions, they're welcome to talk to us from there, but directed them to all the work that we've already done and what's available to them. And they said, okay, we'll definitely check it out. So. All right, so where are we at then in the process? Lane, I'm going back to your notes.
Yeah, I just tell you what I might do. If people just want to look quickly at what I sent the minutes for the second. I didn't have any changes, by the way, to the minutes for the 26th. So I'll just send the final of that. It won't be any different than what we've gotten already. But if you want me to share my screen, and I'll just pop through these minutes from.
Screen sharing should be on, Elaine, so
Yes, it is.
I've enabled it. There you go.
Hi, Dave Perry. How are you?
Hi, Lane, thanks. Sorry I'm late. I could not get to my old email for the proper link, so, and it's good to see you guys again. I'm sorry I missed the past few meetings, but I did spend about 2 hours today watching the videos from the last meetings, and I must say, looks like good progress was made on the presentation and the survey, so I'm glad to be here.
Make
Glad
sure
you're
you
back.
subscribe. Make
Yeah.
sure you subscribe to the
Oh,
video channel.
Yeah, okay, maybe Alan, you could tell me how to do that next offline or something, because for some reason, I just could not find the link.
Well, the subscription is for when you watch the YouTube video.
Oh, the YouTube. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll do a thumbs up.
Um,
Oh,
most-
no, not a thumbs up. Actually, subscribe to the channel. That'll actually help the community
Oh, okay, okay,
if you do that.
You
You
bet.
actually subscribe.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, then it also shows you which ones have been posted since you last viewed them,
Okay,
which is helpful. And depending on if you have your Google Calendar integrated, your Google Calendar may have this meeting right on your calendar. And if you check, the link is always there.
oh, okay, okay,
So that's another way to get to the link.
okay.
Okay, so let's see. Like I say, I didn't see any particular things. Here's the minutes I sent out from last week, which was mostly just the update for the dates we're working through with the what the countdown was at the time. So on the 2nd, we were a week and a half out from the Life Act meeting, etc. Talked. Let's see. Hopefully that's still accurate with what we got going on here.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
what?
have to say that I have not had a chance to get the tome article draft to anybody, so I am remiss on that. I will work on it tomorrow and get it
Oh,
done.
Okay,
So I am just really sorry about that. I was
That's okay.
hoping to get that done for you all to look at, but I can email it to everybody.
Yeah, I can't, yeah. I mean, that's understandable.
Thanks, Mary.
Notice, because I'm the writer of the minutes, I give myself due dates. So the flyer is not due tonight. It's due next week. See, if someone else volunteered to do the minutes, you too would have the superpower. The only other thing I will point out, by the way, when we talked about having the town meeting, we did discuss having it on a Sunday night. And at the time, I thought the Super Bowl was on Sunday, the 6th. But at least something I saw the other day suggested to me that no, it's actually the following, it's the 13th, not the 6th. So if people have a feeling they'd rather do it on the Sunday, we should go ahead and decide that tonight.
I'm open to whenever.
I think one of our thoughts was that Sunday would not compete with any other island.
Yeah,
meeting.
I'm for Sunday.
Yeah.
Shall we do that? Can somebody else pop on and just make sure I'm right about that? Wherever I saw it, it
Super
was.
Bowl Sunday, February 13th.
There you go. So we changed that, and that I've just changed, I should have changed it in my my updated notes, not the ones I just sent you guys. So let me undo that, and I'll not do that here. I will do that in our meeting minutes from tonight. Okay. Let's see. Got the survey update notes. Chris's, I think I rephrased this. We talked about rephrasing this for Ed and Helen Scott, and I just said, for a project with such a long timeline, their input may not be critical. As in, they don't anticipate being here, but maybe that's a slightly more delicate way to say it.
It's nice wording.
There we go.
Yeah.
So just brief, I mean, mostly we spent time on the slideshow, so anybody have any corrections there? You can, if you get a chance to read it later and just let me know. Otherwise, for tonight, what I'll do is switch over. I'll close this one. Otherwise, I end up editing the wrong one. And I'll go over to tonight. I will add.
No, thank you.
And there you go. So here is where I will now change the meeting itself. I'll come back to the top. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not trying to make you feel dizzy by jumping all over, but I'll go ahead and fix this while I'm here. We'll say that's Sunday. Okay. Let's see. Ferry Impact Survey has been launched. This is the link we can share with islanders. Alan, you mentioned providing a link that we could send or give people to send to off-island residents or businesses.
Yeah, I sent that out in an email to everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to go back and look, so I will add that. I'll put that here.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
all.
there's two different, there are two different ones. The one is for the islanders and whatnot. The other is specific for the businesses. And I did that. They all go to the same place, but it helps me and us tell how many people are responding and in which way.
Got it.
And
Alan?
yeah,
So it's off-island residents and businesses. So that's so the off-island, it is for off-island residents as well, like the visitors.
Let me go look at it for a second.
Because
Uh,
Islander, business island-based, business mainland-based, and visitor.
And visitor, that, yeah, the off island would be the visitor thing.
Okay, so it's the off-island visitors. Okay,
Yeah, it just
All
says
right.
visitor. It just says visitors.
okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay,
Yeah, so there's two links. There's one for, it's one specifically for the businesses.
Okay,
And there's the other one is specifically to you that we will publish in the Nextdoor, the Facebook, and of course the website has the actual post on it. So there's no
Yeah.
need to publish it twice there. But we
Okay.
do need to get the text up for Nextdoor and Facebook.
yes. Okay, so tonight, our highest priorities, finish off the presentation for LifeHack. And yes, it is 10 minutes and then they'll be able to ask questions, but for 10 minutes, we're definitely going to have just the highlights. And we'll want to make some decisions about those things tonight.
right.
Um,
I have some info on the stuff that I was supposed to do. Is this a good time to talk about that?
Hang on just a second for
Okay.
that. Let me just,
Okay,
let me just say that for the tome, we'll get that draft, and then can have, and so it'll be in time for the deadline. And then I think maybe one reason, Alan, maybe I put this off a little bit too far into the future. I'm sorry, we're talking about two different things here, I realize. The survey, the existing survey right now also needs to go into Nextdoor and Facebook. I have to admit, these deadlines were all about looking forward to the town meeting.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
missed that.
Yep. Yeah, because
So
we
we're also-
because what we said is I'd put it up on the site, and then we'd generate text to go to Paul for Brown Betty and for the tome, and then I would double check it for accuracy of the link and stuff.
Right.
I
But
was guilty of not following through. That's me. I'm sorry.
I didn't.
it's not guilt. Life happens.
Mhm.
Because I know several of us said we don't use Nextdoor very much, and I don't remember who said they used it enough to actually put anything in there. And I think we just rely, I think Chris is the only one we could think of who actually uses Facebook on a regular basis. And I don't know if you actually do use it, Chris, or if that's just for, you use it for actual friends and family.
I use it for a lot of stuff, but yeah. I'm
Yeah,
on there all the
okay.
time. And
Yeah,
Nextdoor, so.
I said I would post it to Nextdoor because I have access to the Leica community account for Nextdoor.
Oh, I didn't, okay. Okay,
That's why I needed it.
got it.
Alan's got Nextdoor, I got Facebook.
Okay, great. So do you need anything from us on that, Chris, or are you just gonna make up stuff?
I
will
was gonna wait.
I
till
will
we-
get text. I will get text
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Because for
Mary
the
was,
tome, hopefully if you wrote the tome, then we could grab from that
Mhm.
something reasonable.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I will
Yeah.
get that out.
yeah, Mary was gonna write, send it to me. I'd check for technical,
I get it.
and then go and move that on to Chris, and send it off to Paul with a note to put it in Tome and Brown Betty.
I get it.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Will provide. Okay. So much problem. Start staring. I feel like everyone's staring at me typing, and I immediately start typing typos because of that. Okay, so that should
Oh,
get
stage fright.
updated on the survey link, obviously, and I haven't filled out the survey myself. So I have been doing the research. I told you guys I would research on when outages occurred. I naively thought that'd be a little easier. Honestly, I looked at the LifeAct minute meetings. I said, aren't you a smarty pants? You're just going to look at the minute meetings. It's going to say discuss outage, and it never does.
Hmm.
You have
It
to
is-
drill down and to the meeting minutes and eventually find out that an outage was discussed. They don't use the term.
Yeah, it's usually in the captain's report, Richie's report.
Where, you mean during the meeting minutes during the,
Uh-huh, yeah,
you
that's
have to
where
drill
it'll
that
usually
far.
be.
I just thought it'd be so easy to just open each agenda and the agenda would have said, but they use the exact same agenda for every meeting.
Uh-huh,
So it doesn't say, yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
still working on that. And so by next week I should have,
Yeah, the other way I suggest to find it is to type into the Nextdoor search bar.
yeah, you mentioned that, but I thought I was so
Ferry,
smart.
ferry outage,
Yeah,
because it may cover more things.
yeah, I have to admit, I assumed that LifeAct meeting would be the best source, the most accurate source.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm still working on that. Let's see here. So the I've got this is a little farther away, still putting something on the community website, Alan.
Yep.
Once you see the Tome article, you may say to yourself, oh, I've got what I need, but
Yeah, you'll just have to, I'll work with you and get some pictures.
yeah,
We'll,
yeah. Some from the extract from the slides. Yeah.
yeah, pick of the litter.
Yeah. Then the Leica meeting, and I know, Mary, you haven't had a chance yet. We're not exactly sure of the time frame for that, but we're assuming it's something like 20 to 30 minutes.
yeah, we'll talk about it for sure and firm it up at the LICA board meeting on Tuesday.
Okay.
But it's definitely on the agenda for the board meeting, and I'm thinking that 20 or 30 minutes will be the time that we'll have to present
Okay.
and present and do questions.
Okay.
Do you think you'll need that long at the board meeting? I think
No,
we-
no, not
Oh.
that long at the board meeting, but it'll probably be about 3 or 4 minutes at the board meeting, but
Okay,
for the general meeting, I'm suggesting that we allow in the agenda for the board meeting 20 to 30 minutes for the presentation.
okay.
Okay. And this was, so I will have a flyer for us to look at the next meeting, the 16th. And then that gives us time to review it and then get it over to Paul for the bulletin board, and then to start thinking about how we distribute it. Let's see. And I think at this point, I noticed the Grange did cancel their last meeting, Mary, so I don't think the Grange is really going to be an option.
No, I think that will definitely be Zoom.
Okay. Oh, you think they'll have a Zoom? I thought they just said they were canceling the meeting altogether.
No, us being a Zoom.
Yeah, oh, for the Grange, yeah, I think the Grange canceled it, but LICA will be a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, Leica, yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think we can just call it good. What we got now, I think is good. Publicizing the, let's see, I had just grabbed your notes, Alan, just moments ago from the email.
Yep.
Do you want to go ahead and we'll talk about these things for the survey?
Well, it's nothing really major. We've had,
We've had about
yeah, there we
6
go.
responses.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the right number. We got like 4 from basically the same family. And they're what that's what prompted me to change the verbiage just slightly,
Okay,
because they were saying how long it affected them, but not when it was that it happened. So and I know better. So I made that into two separate
better.
line items on the survey.
Okay,
And the one is an actual calendar thing. And I put a
Oh.
note that if you're not sure, just swag the day, but we need to know when,
yeah,
So minor change. And then I also put in there the definition of an outage, because they were talking about, not being able to do stuff in dry dock. Well, that's not what we would call an outage, because there is a ferry available. So I defined that a little better.
got it.
So, but everybody can take a look at the survey, and
Okay.
if it doesn't apply to you, just don't click send, and no harm, no foul.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Good. And I like that idea of keeping it active, because you're right. I mean, we're at the beginning of this journey. And to get people maybe in the habit of when there's an outage, we want to know more about it, because that would impact it to, potentially.
Yeah, and we'll get better, more accurate data if they do it in the moment rather than trying to remember what happened
Yes.
3 months ago.
Yeah. 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 Anybody else? Everybody agree that this is
I
Yeah,
think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, and I can actually make that happen now, which
really-
will also oh, you don't have to put brilliant. But I can make it happen now in the menu for the desktop and the mobile. So the outage survey will be more in people's view currently as well.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay.
And I think I'll make that ferry outage survey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because outage survey, after I thought it sent it, I thought, a little nebulous. We should be
Yeah.
clearer.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. So I just updated that moments ago.
Let's update the names, add to what I commented on. Just,
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, what's that?
yeah, so we've also got the Burnett family.
Yeah,
Oh, did you already do that?
I did that while we were,
Wow,
She's fast.
I guess.
otherwise I don't remember these things. Yeah. Okay. And then, okay. So I think we're good on unless I'm missing something, I would suggest that our next highest priority is to go ahead and work on this life hack.
I had
Mhm.
one comment about something I was supposed to do and did not
Oh, yeah?
because of my latest drama. I did not get a chance to talk to Paul yet to ask him about the history of the old,
Oh, history of the old doc.
yeah, history of the old doc. So, but
Yeah.
it is still on my list of things to do.
Okay. Okay. That's great. It's so funny, just because now it's on my radar, I realized that sign, it's across from the post office, that Lummi Island Visitors Bureau.
Yeah, well, that's the old sales map, I think, for
Yeah.
Scenic Estates thing.
And it has the old dock.
Oh, the other people I need to ask, I need to check with Brooke in the library. They may have they have a whole bunch of documents.
Oh,
on different
okay.
things. So I put a note in there for me to remember to talk to Brooke as well.
I happened to be at the library and was looking through some of those. Actually, it was this day you were up in the attic. I didn't realize it was you up in the attic when the heater. the furnace was acting up.
Yeah, that was me getting the heater fixed. Yeah, the documents I'm talking about are not in the main library section.
Oh,
They're a special set of documents that are tucked away.
oh,
Yeah,
probably
they're in the Hanson room.
oh, okay. Probably easier to use because what I was looking for was quite random. It wasn't really, let's say it was certainly not Curie. Okay, awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, what I did is I said to myself, 10 minutes, really 10 minutes for this presentation. And I said to myself, it is LifeVac who should be in terms of as an audience, not a big long discussion, but simply, where are we and what are we doing next? So I kind of pared this down and I think it's like maybe 11.
Can we drop the circle? Can we drop the circle that's around the Leica logo?
We can.
Mhm.
I just have to change it to some other format.
You don't have to do it right now. It just bugs me because it's just quite not on the center.
Oh, yeah, because it's an automatic. So the getting started part, basically just reminding them, why was a committee formed and kind of what spurred the committee. And then I thought really the next topic would be, we looked at existing resources. I still don't know how to phrase this exactly. Again, we're not going to have this long time to talk about it. We're just going to say, this isn't a big community meeting. This is just LifeVac to say, we looked at potential for maybe a short-term solution or being able to, have a solution that wasn't a dock, and we didn't come up with one. So I don't know what else.
And on the second slide, can we go back to that one?
Getting started.
Uh-huh. The ferry outages highlighted critical lack of safe boat access to get people on and off the island when no ferry option was available. Or just because I think, we don't need to get people on and off the island when the foot ferry is running. But it's just like when the ferry, when
Sure.
county provided services are
Unavailable.
not available.
Well, don't you sort of say that with just the beginning words, ferry outages?
You do, but I don't know. I don't know. I just.
I like
Okay.
I like the short and sweet, and if there's a question, we can explain it.
Okay,
But you don't want to get too wordy on bullet points.
okay, all right.
But I would change that to on and off the island rather than a slash. That's just me personally.
Okay,
And that is
I think I see where you're going with that. I mean, it gets back to the delay time for the county to put the passenger ferry in and all.
mhm,
yes.
So maybe we could add the words when county service unavailable or something. I don't know. I mean, you could certainly talk through it, but
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing of it is it's the basic cause of the situation is the ferry outage.
right.
And then the fact that the county hasn't provided as fast as we would like. The passenger ferry is, I think, another topic. But this is just the reasons as to what's caused this, what prompted it. You may want to say, you might want to emphasize on that it's been multiple or more with the fact that we have them more often now with the age of the boat and everything else.
More frequent and more prolonged.
Hmm.
Because they have been, I don't know, we had 2 overnight ones and one that was
Yeah, but again, that may be something that's, even though I just said that, I like the fact
Yeah.
to keep things short and sweet on bullet points,
okay.
but we can get into the nitty gritty of somewhere. This is like, why did we start? Why did this whole process start? We can get into the nitty gritty of it maybe on a longer presentation on another slide type of thing.
Right, because this is LIFAC. They
Yeah,
should.
and they know.
It's been the issue. So this is just us pointing out that the committee didn't just really spring from rocks, that in fact, that, and sure, in our mind, it was 2021 was a bad year.
And actually, it's Leica was asked to form an
Yeah.
advisory committee.
I do think a sub-bullet here might be useful, though.
Asked, yeah, Mary asked us to do that. It's not Leica just doing it, willy-nilly. There was reason for forming it.
Okay.
We were actually asked to do that.
But I would suggest, I think maybe a sub-bullet under the first one that says, the aging ferry is resulting in more frequent and prolonged outages is important, because there have been ferry outages for 60 years, right? And the county will say, we have a plan to respond to outages. But you know what? There is downtime. And I think that's what you were trying to get at, Mary. So during unexpected and or prolonged outage, there is actually 0 service, right? And that's what we're trying to address. And again, you could talk to it, but maybe a short sub-bullet is appropriate there.
The interim period between public services being provided.
I think that again, the point of the main presentation is to keep it short and sweet. We're handing out notes pages, and I think maybe that's what we should do, is use this.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just to say, in 2021, more frequent and prolonged.
You could put more frequent ferry outages.
On the main bullet, Alan?
Yeah, just as a thought.
Or increased frequency of ferry outages. Maybe that's the way to put it. Right. Yeah.
Maybe frequency and duration.
Yeah.
I'm getting long again. Shut up, Mary.
I think that's good. I concede.
Let's leave it at that.
Compromise.
And like I say, this is just LIFAC. We can come
Yeah.
back and talk about for the community one, but this is LIFAC, and this should not be a surprise. So while you might say, yeah, we are responding, I think our experience has been this problem exists. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Now if we go on and talk about, our first step was to research, potential resources. I think they, at least from what Rama said, they already realized that we had been trying to pursue a potential short-term solution,
Mhm.
which if there had been one, friends, it had been in place probably, right? So I'm not sure if,
Yeah, guys, I wanted to bring something up here and I think we'll get to it later, but I don't know if you folks saw, there was someone posted on Nextdoor just the other day about, he posted a link to the boating infrastructure grant program.
the funding, uh-huh.
Yeah, and I thought that was really encouraging. I thought about responding, but I wasn't up to date on when we plan to do a public meeting and all that. So I chose rather to wait to talk to you guys. But what I found interesting about that were a few of the comments that were made by folks. And one of them said, "Great opportunity for the quarry." And when I was listening to your discussion from last week's meeting and trying to summarize these slides, I think we need to make extremely clear, maybe not so much the Life Act, but in the public meeting, that the Easton Preserve is not an option. There will not be a dock there, right? At least as far as I understand it. Now, I know we have an opening for a new executive director of the Lummi Island Heritage Trust. If somebody on the boat dock committee wants to take that position and overrule that decision, maybe there's an opportunity. But I continue to, we hear that rumor, right? And I think we need to quash it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think in the public meeting that we
Mm.
definitely want to go into more details. I think for LIFAC, we tell them that, yeah, we started
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
belief that we could perhaps find another solution.
Sure. I
And
wanted to highlight that because I think it hit me again because it's not the first time I've heard it.
Yeah, it, not that it needs to be squashed, it needs to be explained
Right.
that the Heritage Trust has not finalized everything, and everything I've heard is that there would be availability for a landing craft.
Right.
The word dock has never been used.
no,
There are absolutely zero plans for a dock.
Yeah.
They will have a road that is accessible to get like an emergency vehicle down or up the road from an access area for a large landing craft to land extra firefighting equipment, stuff like that. And it's also could be used to help evacuate out people from scenic estates. But there is no plan for that at all in the Easton Preserve plan.
no. And this is what for the public presentation, this is what I had. And I did go through all the Eastern Preserve plans. And that's what I got from it. It will be landing craft access for emergency vehicle only.
Mhm.
And that fire department will have a key to the gate. This is not going to be available for urgent.
I just wanted to comment, it's not, the road will be there. But Elizabeth has explained this to me twice on two of the walking tours, that the gate will have, they will have a key code for it so that it can be used for people that are disabled to be able to drive down or get down in some way down the road to the main area. So it's not, but in our point of view, it's just the fire department. But in reality, they're doing it for disabled access and this, and for maintenance of the site as well. So the road will be there.
Okay.
Because they need a way to get down there if they're doing maintenance and stuff too. So the road is a definite. Just the gate will be there, but only opened for specific things.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's definitely a talking point for the community meeting. Just as it is for scenic estates, for people who say, well, you've got docks at scenic estates. Well, A, there's only seasonal, and B, there's limitations. So I think that would certainly be for. If that's why I just wanted a key point for Aston. Here's some of the ones we looked at, but did not see it as viable for.
Lane, maybe you want to add at the end of the Aston, just landing craft only.
Access for.
And really for a presentation to what we're doing, if we're trying to keep it brief, all we need are the names of the places that we've looked at. The rest of the information is really peripheral at
Yeah.
this point. All
Good
we're
point.
stating, these are potential resources that just aren't going to work out. If they
Yeah.
want details, they can ask the questions, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
again, we're trying to make it short, right?
Yeah.
Right.
From the melt, or from the high tide that we just had.
Yeah, and I don't know if don't remember whether you mentioned the landing, the portable dock thing that Chris was talking about. That was also considered as a resource, but that might be appropriate for that page as well. But
I had that down here was that it was we looked at alternative for using a landing craft, but it still requires access.
Mhm.
So that doesn't,
okay, so maybe committee research potential access points.
There you go.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it simple and
Okay, yeah, and then we'll just have one quick point about for each of these as to why they were not. And that's actually for residents use.
and overall, these are all too far away.
Mhm.
And on the wrong side of the island. Yeah, I was trying to decide whether to put east west, and then I said, never mind. No, we'll just say, listen, yes, we looked at options.
Yeah, these are all the areas people's minds will bring up and they'll think, oh, did they check out this? Did they check out this? Well, yeah, we've got them all. I mean, these are the only other reasonable places that would be potential.
Yeah. Yeah. So having researched these access points and having not found any viable access points for urgent access, we developed goals for the project, and it was to establish a public dock.
My fancy little yellow important folder. March 5th, yep.
Yeah, looks good.
So my thought, in terms of flow, trying to think, okay, we got started, we evaluated the existing situation to see if there was an alternative that would work. We did not find an alternative that would work. We are therefore proposing a public dock. The scope and terms.
Can you back
Yeah.
up one?
Yeah.
I think the oh, wait a minute. Let's see. No, never mind. It's in the right order.
I think you could strike that last bullet. It seems kind of redundant to me, just to keep things short.
The evacuation?
Yeah.
Sure. Again, this
We've
is,
got boat access with urgent need, so.
yeah, this isn't every goal we could ever have. So, but it's
Yeah.
key goals. Cool. Everybody okay with that?
Great.
Then the scope and terms, that short-term pickup and drop off, access, not a marina. And I had originally had a separate discussion about urgent versus emergency, but I realized again in the brevity and being succinct was to simply say this is urgent access and then gave the examples in the notes.
Yeah, because the LIFAC audience is going to know the difference anyway.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think though that one thing that we are not hitting there is a public dock would provide, it could possibly provide a place for a water taxi or the backup boat to use during an outage. And that would reduce costs. You know, it would make it so that we could get a backup boat here in an hour instead of 5 hours. You know, I think that needs to be said.
Okay. So it is under the public, the safety benefit. So it's here.
Yeah, it's covered in here.
Next slide,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Just trying to make sure they understood what we mean. Public dock is
Mhm.
not a marina.
Mm.
Yes,
Public dock is about urgent response. We already have emergency response in place. We're talking about urgent.
Mhm.
So we just have addressed that and make sure that they understand we
Would a public dock is not a marina? Yeah, that's a qualifying explanation. Would that be better, not in the middle there, but as last?
I don't even know that it's necessary.
well, only that we have repeatedly tried to say.
Yeah, we need to keep it. We need to keep saying that. But
Like-
I think it should be maybe the last bullet point rather not in the middle.
Okay, and actually you can make it a separate, it can actually just be a floating statement here.
Well, you know what? One other comment that I saw on that response on Nextdoor, and
yeah.
you guys can look for it, was someone said, if you build a dock, they will come and they will come and they will come, right? And we've heard that. I've heard that from various people that I think are concerned about, you know, an overrun of tourists. And so I think maybe this, to highlight again that this is not a marina, that's not long-term stays, is probably not a bad thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that. I like that placement. Lane, that looks good.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Even better.
The no overnight stays though is not really
you know,
relevant, whether it be a marina or not, because someone, if there's mooring balls out there, they could stay out or they could anchor out front and still access the dock.
if on the dock was the public dock is not a marina. The public dock, you cannot stay overnight. And if they say what an emergency, you say, okay, safety at sea is going to be safety at sea. Yes, you could dock someplace overnight in an emergency, just like you could anywhere else. Scenic Estates is going to let you dock overnight in an emergency. That's safety.
Gotcha.
What we're saying is this dock has a rule that says you have X number of hours unless it's an emergency.
Gotcha.
But I
Yep.
think mooring balls, and I don't think I discussed that in the LIFAC, but we'll come
Yeah,
to the full discussion and say, what do we want to say about mooring balls? Because to me, an overnight stay on a mooring ball, we have 1 million mooring balls around the island.
yep.
And so far, I have not seen 1 million of them being used at one time.
Exactly.
Scary.
Exactly. It's often there are perceived, oh, the sky is falling problems
Mhm.
that are not reality.
So, but we- I
and
know we-
the mooring balls that are around the island, they are private mooring balls. They are put in by private individuals. They are maintained by private individuals. There are no public mooring balls anymore. There used to be 1 or 2 down at Ryle Harbor at the DNR spot, but they've been taken away. But there are no public moorings on the island. All of them are owned. And I know that there are people that get very upset when some boat just comes up and ties up on their mooring ball, and that's bad.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean, Easton is going to have mooring balls, public mooring balls.
Yeah, that's been noted as part of the plan that
So-
I've seen.
That is not the, so if Easton is going to manage to, and I tell you the truth, what we were talking about them for was more to, one, we were talking about actually being able to maybe to take a piece of dock out there during a storm, but we were also talking about whether people would have less of a problem if it was a mooring ball and you brought a dinghy in than bringing a boat in. But I think the point of the dock is not going to be intended for overnight use.
Right.
And
I
if it's
think
not
yeah.
intended for overnight use,
Yeah.
but I think that just like the existing beach access right now says dawn to dusk, or whatever it is, that's exactly what this would be. It's a county park.
Yeah, I think this slide is great.
I mean, I was just at Chuckanut today and it says, no, you can't camp here. No, you can't, you know. it's dawn to
And it's,
dusk.
yeah,
So it's, you know,
All right, that one looks good.
okay. Let's see. So there's our public safety benefits then. And then the community recreation benefits. I didn't go into, we didn't get the environmental, so I think this was just the key for what is public safety, what is a community benefit. We reiterate it's not a marina.
I don't know if this matters that much, but should we say docking would be limited to a few hours? I mean, usually the county dock, what is it, 2-3 hours, something like that?
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
It might just sound a little short.
yeah, yeah. Few sounds like a safer word.
Okay,
I had a big argument with my boss once that few and several were almost the same, but I won't go there now.
There is a slight difference, but not much.
I think
But
several,
yeah.
I think several actually could be, people could say that.
And what's the?
A handful of hours, what's that? Let
That's
me,
a bad-
and then I was thinking from here, it made sense to say where are we suggesting it? I actually, this was left over from another slide. Because it's just the Life Act, it's not the community meeting. I don't have the picture of the existing, the old dock.
Do you want it? I can send it to you.
No, I meant, I just didn't include it. I was trying to keep
Mm,
this
Oh, okay, yeah.
brief.
No,
and-
I think this is good.
Do we want to say current parks and recreation property or existing or, because I mean, everybody probably.
Oh, okay, uh-huh.
That's good. Did the second photo, the expand, the zoom in,
Yeah,
is that a Google grab? Rather than from the original photo that's on the left? Because it doesn't have the boundaries.
right.
Hmm.
Did you?
Um,
Yeah, it was just expanded just to zoom to show the platform, because you can't see, it's very hard to see the platform in the,
Yeah, okay. So that's closer in than so the boundaries are in the picture, but they're outside of that clip. All right.
oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Very-
because if you look on the left-hand one, you can see that property is fairly wide.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So that's why we were saying that you could still have the existing stairs and still build this dock facility next to it.
Yeah, I mean, the existing platform is obviously what, I don't know, 20 feet or something, right? So I'm assuming we're not planning to build a pier out here that's 20 feet wide.
Yeah, no, but you've got land to the south there.
A
that-
lot of land here, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know at what point you encroach. Well, it is all about angles and such, but I think the point here was just to say,
That's
we're
a good representation. Yeah.
existing
yeah, it is.
property and the platform is there and this is where
I-
the old dock used to be.
I'm just saying, if you look at the left-hand picture, the
Yeah.
plot number 13925
Yeah.
is the county parks and recreations
Yes.
space. And that's got there's a fair amount of land there.
Yeah.
So there's enough to work with.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one? I
Okay.
haven't looked.
And then just that we were recommending the seasonal design. Just to, I just was, I think my thought on the Life Act is this is our chance to let the cat out of the bag. Our first chance to say, listen, this is what we would be recommending to Parks and Recreation.
I think this is
Just to
key.
show an example,
Yes,
concept.
I have a comment on this.
Yeah.
On this slide.
Yeah.
I have mixed emotions on actually recommending removal of other floating sections off season.
Yeah,
That really has to do with the design they do.
yeah.
If they do one with a breakwater and all that, they don't need to do that. So
Okay,
I don't think that's up to us.
I mean, we could say recommend at least one.
At least, yes.
Lane, could you?
Yeah.
Could you just get rid of that bottom completely and just add the top section to the picture with the concept with the pier and retractable dock? So when they read, recommend at least one section of floating dock
I
being
see.
able to be removed, they'll have a visual representation. Because just reading it, people are not going to understand that. But if they can see exactly that,
Okay,
it's self-evident what we're proposing.
also reduces the number of slides, so that's
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
But I think, and Chris, if you're gonna be reciting this, it's important here to reiterate that floating section would allow for the passenger ferry to be immediately implemented, right?
Yes.
deploy,
I think
uh-huh.
especially for Life Act, that, to me, that's a huge synergy here.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and what they've got those two really long sections of the gangway that they use right now.
Uh-huh,
And you might be able to turn those long gangway sections, use that as part of that float. As you may be able to just, use those county existing, so hey, you wouldn't have to waste them. They could possibly be used for the gangway for this that we're proposing. So,
You mean instead
Yeah.
of taking up parking spots?
yeah, instead of taking up
Yeah.
parking spots, it could be, that could be used and deployed
Sorry,
year
County.
round in place.
Yeah, the only issue with that is you've got two different entities, county entities that are talking, would
Well, they
need
could
to
maybe be made
negotiate it.
surplus. Maybe they could be made surplus.
Yeah,
Well, let's
Yeah.
let's
No?
get back
Hey,
on
let's
getting this
go.
done. We can get off
Yeah.
on a tangent on
Yeah,
those things. To me, that looks more than good enough for what we're getting at. Keep it
Yep.
simple, straightforward.
okay, and then the final thing was just what's gonna happen, where are we and, what's gonna happen next?
Perfect.
you want to mention the survey in there? Oh, you do, never mind.
Uh-huh.
Ignore me.
Yeah, 10 slides, that's not bad.
10 slides, 10 minutes.
Yeah, that looks good.
And I end up not really with many notes notes on the notes pages. I think the one probably that we would behoove ourselves to go ahead and put some write-up would be really more about the alternate sites. And just what the committee had done so far. So when you look at the handout, basically, which is what you would provide the PDF of this, then they would see these notes.
Right.
And so they won't, I guess that should probably be smaller font.
Mhm.
But a lot of them didn't, just have very brief. Okay,
Yeah,
And-
that looks good.
Lane, I am going to try to get a picture of people walking down the riprap. I talked to a friend and she's looking for it in her pictures. And
okay,
I will try to get it to you tomorrow or as soon as I get it. It may even be in my emails, but I do have a couple of pictures that my friends took as they were going down and loading onto Chris's boat.
okay.
That'd be great as the background for that.
Mhm. Why we need this. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And if Mary, if you could send those to me too, I'd appreciate
Yeah,
it.
right there.
yes, yes.
Okay, so this is what it looks like basically on slide. Here's the title here, or I mean on screen.
Can you, on that slide, make it so each one of those points I'll have to click to have come up so that the first thing that they see is those people struggling over the rocks?
Mhm.
Well.
It
would-
needs to be a slide in sequence.
It would, if we were to do that for this presentation, I have to admit I had not, oh, you were talking about adding it to this presentation then, Mary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just, you could put it, it's like one slide. It might be your introductory slide or something. I don't know.
Oh, we could always do that, sure.
Well,
Just
what
make
I'm
it-
suggesting is use that slide as it is. Put the picture in the background.
You can do that. The one thing that gets a little tricky with that, Chris, is when you print it, it looks different. 'Cause you
Yeah.
can't-
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you can change it for the printing.
So if you wanted to do that, you could, say, let's just think for a moment here. Let me just look at the flow.
If it's easier just to make one picture of it, that's fine too.
Yeah, that's generally the easier mouse trap. Where would you put it? Probably something after the public safety.
One concept is to, you could put it at the end. So Chris, if you imagine you're presenting this, where would you think of the, what we're trying to prevent, kind of?
I would do it on either the second or third slide. If you could scoot over Whatcom County Parks and Recreation, explain that opportunities may exist to fund a project, adjustment steps for a committee to proceed.
Yeah.
Slide that all over and just put a picture in that lower right corner. Because there's enough room there, I think, to make it big enough.
Let me think about,
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way to include it just in that first slide. The second one or the third one would be very easy to include it in because there's plenty of room there.
true, but, think about putting on the introductory.
Yeah, that could work too.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, slide number 1. If you can do a corner tuck.
Yeah, that's going to get their attention the way that we would hope it would
Uh-huh.
for sure. They're going to see that and go, oh yeah.
So. Let me make this a whatever.
Lower right.
So right, there's actually, now that I've done that, okay. So, I mean, we don't really need that, frankly. Okay, so somewhere, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it could very well be, it would, we could just say the Public Advisory Committee, and when you got to the,
Yeah, because you might be able to, depending on what the picture is, it might be able to crop it into a good landscape format and have it as the lower half or lower third.
mhm, mhm. Okay,
So the committee are all the people clamoring over the riprap, I guess.
Well,
you know what, we are going to feel like that probably. We're also gonna feel
yeah.
like we're picking up the riprap and throwing it at us, yeah. So, sure, let's do that.
I like
Okay,
Yeah, it gets attention. I think it's a good idea. Yeah,
yeah.
Good hook.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so it looks like with the addition of that picture, we'll be ready to present to Leica
mhm.
Oh, life back.
or LifeAct, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I know, so if we talk about Chris doing the presenting, and I know, Nick, you had offered to help drive. So that would mean you would be sharing. Now, apparently Rama said to let Mary know who would need to share, because you enable that. Is that what happens?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you guys think? Do you, I don't know if you guys want to practice, sort of talk among yourselves. If I send you out to these, you guys to practice and make sure you feel like you can fit it into 10 minutes. I felt like I could, but you do have to stay right on topic.
Stay the course, as they say.
But if the driver can always help by not having to say anything, but just advancing to the next slide, which tells you that you have finished talking about that previous slide. And now it's time to talk about the next one. I also think you'll want to introduce it, Chris, by saying, I'm going to go through a quick 10-minute overview of where we are, and then I'll take questions.
Mhm. Yeah,
And Rama's quite good. Is she still the new, apparently the new members for the committee have not actually been chosen yet.
No, Rama is still chair.
So one advantage to doing it now is we know who they are, and Rama's quite good about that. So if people start trying to interrupt, I think she'll stop them. So I don't think you have to worry about being rude to anybody. I'm pretty sure she would step in.
She runs a good meeting.
Okay, so if I send this to you guys, I did tell her that we would provide this to them, but I don't know how far ahead. Mary, do you feel like we would need to do that?
Probably Tuesday. She'll send the agenda out. Probably. I have to set up the meeting for her as soon as I get off of this meeting. She called me and to remind me, and so I will set up that for her as soon as I get off of this meeting. I have not done doodah with my computer. It's been packed in the back of the car.
Yeah. We just want to make sure. She does not include the presentation in the agenda, because then Chris doesn't have anything to talk from.
Yeah.
Right. So then that was the next question. So Alan, do you think you would want to put it up on the website, and then at the end of the meeting, you would provide a link, or Mary could put a link we could put it in the chat or something like that?
I can provide a link to the presentation
Mhm.
and have it ready and activated after the LifeAct meeting is over.
Okay.
That's not a problem, and it would be on the public doc committee page.
Okay.
That's just
That's
another resource item. I can highlight it, of course, but there is a section for these kind of things on that page already.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah.
And Nick, no, so Nick and Chris, you both have PowerPoints if I send you the actual file.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so then you guys, I think if you guys go through it together, and then as you've gone through it, any changes you want to make, obviously.
Yeah,
then-
and if you send it to me, I can make it into a PDF and have it loaded and ready and just a click to activate the link.
Okay. Awesome, and I know I'll be able to attend. Who else will be able to attend?
No, I would.
I'll be there.
Okay, cool. So
I'll
we'll-
try.
So if Nick and Chris want to throw us under the bus, they can't because we're there, haha. No, you're like, who wrote this slide? Gosh, I don't know. We have some questionable members of the committee who, so I'll send it to you tonight after we're done, and then tomorrow I can send you the picture, but that way you guys have a chance to just go through it together and make sure it works for you.
Great.
Sound
Yeah,
good?
looks good. It's exciting.
Nick, I think we maybe go to the fire hall and do this if you're available then.
Unmute. There we go. Yes, absolutely.
I
Okay.
saw your head shaking
Okay.
the right way.
Yeah, Nick, what I on purpose muted you when you had your phone call. So I that's something
you.
that I sometimes do.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so that addresses that first meeting that we have. What is after that? Just for clarity in my mind, what's our next meeting after that?
So
Would
the
be the
next-
LICA general meeting,
And that's January. 20th.
January
Okay.
26th.
But in between there, the Tome article. Okay.
Mhm,
Oh,
And,
Brown Betty next door, Facebook.
mhm.
Great.
And I will be hitting that tonight if I still am awake. And if not, I'll work on it early tomorrow morning and try to have the Tome article out to everybody. So, and you can make any changes to it that you want.
Do you want me to send you that email again with the links in it, Mary, so it's more towards the top of your pile?
I can find it. It was shortly after last week's meeting, so I
Yeah.
can just go chronological through when I start to toss stuff, so. If I can't find it, I'll give you a jingle or a text.
Awesome. Let's think, I did have a question about, so town, oh gosh, let me fix that. That's the wrong date on the presentation here. So the actual date is the 6th.
Yeah, Mary, a text would be better. I have a doctor's appointment around 12:45 tomorrow.
Okay,
Great.
We just got another survey message in.
Oh, goody.
good.
Oh, the Zoom meeting. So for the town meeting, what will you say in the tome about how people will find out how to get to the town meeting? Is that something that Brown Betty would be the best, or what do you?
It'll be in the Tome, the link, we'll post the link. I'll set the meeting up on Zoom and we'll post the link for it. And in the Tome, like, where you go to sign up for the meeting to get the link.
Yeah. Yeah, we do this a lot, so we'll handle it.
So
And
then
it'll get publicized everywhere.
So then we need to know how long are we going to plan for that town meeting? what time will it start and how long will it go? Right?
Yeah,
Oh, no, maybe we don't, as long as we know what time it starts. Well, I guess we should know how long. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there's always an estimate. I'm comfortable with 6:30. I mean, how many people these days eat around 6:30 on a Sunday? That the dinner hour would be the question. I mean, what should it be, a mid-afternoon thing or what?
Hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, because we all are generally willing to interrupt our meals for this meeting, but that might not be the case with everybody. Most of the, like the Grange and the Leica meetings and stuff are like at 7:30, something like that.
Hmm.
If it's an evening meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think 7 would be good. That gives people to get their dinner down and.
okay. So
7 to
7
7:30.
o'clock. 7 o'clock, I'd say 7 o'clock. I don't think you want to start at 7:30.
Hey,
No,
yeah.
7 to 8:30
Yeah.
Mhm.
estimated time, but if people want to talk more,
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
7:2
Mhm.
PM.
Yeah.
And Mary, are we gonna record this as well so people can view it? That
Yeah,
Yep, that's very easy to do. I just need to remember to push the darn button.
I have a little tag right here next to my camera that says record. So yeah, and there's already a space for these meetings, for the link for the recording, in the on the committee pages. So
Yeah.
it's already allowed for.
Saw that. That was great. Mhm. Okay. I was also going to ask Myra if she could add both this current survey about the outages, and then that'd be another way, I think, to publicize the meeting.
Yeah, she has a fairly good sized mailing list,
Distribution list. Mhm.
although it is not, it's a little bit of a focused demographic.
Mhm. I didn't know who else had a big following.
Yeah, but she does. And yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So if we send her the text for like the tone or Brown Betty, that would be good.
Because she does basically, kind of current.
Yeah, she covers, yeah, a fair good range of stuff.
It's so funny. I've misspelled this doc all this time. You guys never caught it. What kind of proofreaders? Okay. Sound good, people? Everybody has their missions
Mhm.
clearly in hand.
And Lane, do you have ability to edit photos? Do you need me to edit the try to crop that photo that Mary comes up with?
I can crop, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send I'll just send they'll probably be JPEGs
Mhm.
to both of you and you can both play with it.
Yeah, because I may need it in a different format for wherever I
Okay.
put it, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure Lane had editing.
so anybody else, any final thoughts?
No, just we're meeting again next Sunday.
Yep.
Yep.
I
And
think, yeah.
I am back and I will be a better committee member.
You
Well, we'll
you
look
do.
forward to seeing the email from you, and
Mhm.
we'll get that in as soon as possible, and then Nick and I will be able to finish doing our practice, we'll meet up at the fire hall at some time to do that, Lane, once you get that to me, and
Yep.
we'll just keep pressing forward.
So I'll
Yeah,
send,
and-
I'll go ahead and send it to everybody. So in case, because everyone should be helping to proofread, because it is, as you know, it's, we
Thank
all
you.
know what we think it's going to say. And so oftentimes we just fill in blanks with
Mhm.
what we want it to say, whether that's actually what it says or not.
Okay,
Yeah, when you practice, you want to get John Granger to be your heckler.
So
That's not hard to do, believe me. You just got to be in the same room, guaranteed he'll do it.
throw rolls at you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Sounds great,
Excellent, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Once again, great work. We'll look forward to pressing on, and
okey dokey.
All right,
we're right on time. Good job.
Chris.
And if you all are subscribed to that YouTube channel, you'll see as soon as I get it posted up on there.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
good
Thanks,
deal. All
guys.
right, thanks, guys.
Good night, all.